Sports Development and Management, Assignment 2, Wayne Bennett. A successful, motivative and inspirational man with a passion for rugby league, Bennett is the head coach for a Queensland team, Brisbane Broncos, and has been for over 2 decades. With a professional career as a young rugby league player himself, Bennett retired from playing the game to now being considered as one of the best coaches in the game today. The 65-year-old is recognised as a very powerful and somewhat genius within the game of rugby league, with his impressive coaching career kicking off as head coach for the Canberra Raiders to Newcastle Knights, the Australian Kangaroos squad, Queensland State of Origin team and of course Brisbane Broncos. I have chosen Wayne Bennett for not only his great sporting success on the field as a player, but his professionalism, integrity and mateship as a coach inspires and astounds me for the development of my future success. The autobiography of Wayne Bennett, titled Don't Die with the Music in You, and first published in 2002, reflects on the professional career of the great man himself. The sport development of Wayne Bennett is indicated throughout a variety of sport delivery systems, which have enabled his optimum potential as a coach. Sport delivery systems include a variety of key components to identify the differences between agencies and organisations, providing opportunities to all athletes, elite and beginners, within sport and recreation in Australia. These systems are used importantly to recognise the skill level of individuals, increase the number of people taking part in sport, build talent pathways to support young people to achieve their full potential, and ultimately sustain high levels of participation in sport across local, district and regional, state, and of course national levels. Thus the emphasis to examine and understand sport delivery systems. This analysis will consider the specific path of sports delivery systems Wayne Bennett took through his successfully ongoing coaching career, evaluating competition formats, significant events in the sport, along with organisational structures. In addition, other resources have been used to penetrate an opposing point of view in relation to sport delivery systems with regards to the sport rugby league within Australia. Bennett has lived and breathed rugby league his whole life. A former state and international player, Bennett began playing the game at a very young age through his local club and hometown just outside of Warwick, Queensland. Bennett dropped out of school at age 14 and started working full-time as a police officer, and turned to a local junior rugby league team in Warwick for change of scenery during the weekends. Bennett became heavily involved in the sport, having close family ties, with his uncle Eddie Bronson playing in the Australian Kangaroos team in 1948. From here, Bennett became inspired and determined to be as good as his professional uncle. In 1974, Bennett retired from playing professional rugby league and had a spell for 2 years before taking up coaching in 1976. From here, things went uphill and Bennett has never looked back. Throughout Bennett's autobiography, it is explained in detail major events and competitions he has been successful in, including teams, squads, and matches both as a player and coach. Bennett is most commonly renowned for coaching in major competition of the National Rugby League, NRL. However, it does not stop here. At a young age, Bennett played for local clubs in local and regional competitions, including Warwick All Whites, Brisbane Huddersfield Brothers, Ipswich Jets, and Brisbane Souths. These teams are all associated to local rugby league clubs. In southwest Queensland, Bennett was recognised by rugby league selectors and was given the opportunity to represent at a regional, state and international level, playing for Toowoomba Clydesdales, Queensland Maroons and Australian Kangaroos. These teams proved Bennett's skills as a player and leadership as a coach throughout major competitions played, including Brisbane Rugby League Premiership, National Rugby League Premiership, State of Origin Premiership, Rugby League World Cup and Australian Men's Rugby League football competition. Round robins are the specific format for the sport rugby league. This format is used in all major events and competitions relative to the sport. It holds many advantages within the National Rugby League competition, as there are 16 teams in which all will verse each other to determine a winner in the grand final playoff, after 32 weeks of points determination and results of weekly fixtures, similar to the format shown on the screen. Round robin is the only competition that is fair, clear and effective in the sport of rugby league. Bennett has had some amazing sporting success both as a player and a coach. We can see his professional rugby league career as a player lasted 9 years, playing for clubs, state and national, which have all been mentioned previously but are shown in this table. This next table reflects Bennett's coaching career to date. With 2 decades of coaching experience under his belt, Bennett knows the ins and outs when coaching some of Australia's most prestigious and professional rugby league teams. A sports organisation structure is the manner in which the workforce of the organisation is organised into specific job roles and responsibilities to undertake work to accomplish the organisation's mission. Outlined in this organisation structure of a typical professional football club at an elite level for profit enterprise, it is shown evidently the major roles of individuals within the organisation to successfully complete the final mission, which is of course winning fixtures and ultimately the grand final. At the elite and national level, the main sport organisation in which Wayne Bennett is associated with includes the two funded organisations, Australian Rugby League and the National Rugby League, also known as NRL. These two organisations are recognised by the Australian Sports Commission. The Australian Sports Commission also endorses a scheme linked with the NRL, known as the National Coaching Accreditation Scheme, which ensures coaches of rugby league gain and experience essential and beneficial educational opportunities, which Bennett too has been a part of. Within the state level, Bennett is closely linked with the Queensland Rugby Football League Sports Organisation, which is associated with the Australian Rugby League Commission. All of these sports organisations at each of their levels have been a major impact within Wayne Bennett's progression in rugby league as a player and as a coach. Sport development can be defined as a team which works with a community of groups and individuals to increase participation in sport and physical activity of all kinds. The sports organisations mentioned a moment ago contributed significantly to the success of Wayne Bennett's career in regards to this definition of sport development. This is evident throughout Bennett's autobiography as he quotes many friends, colleagues, teammates and players who have inspired him to be where he is today. Bennett often spoke about three men in particular within his autobiography: Bob Bax, Jack Gibson, and Ron Massey. To Bennett, these men are the most influential of all to his coaching success. To Bennett, it wasn't just the sports organisations such as the NRL or the Australian Rugby League Commission that made him the coach we know him, but his loyalty of his uncle Eddie Bronson was too an inspiration and contributor to his success. To what does Bennett owe his success? We have established he is an incredible coach with his extensive amount of experience, but how did he get there and become one of the best, receiving minimal education, training or background at a young age? Bennett wasn't one of the lucky ones to have gone through agencies such as institutes of sport or academies to get where he is. As we see often today, most athletes and coaches are given this opportunity to have such sport delivery systems to help pursue their career. Bennett's understanding of sport delivery systems throughout his autobiography is minimum yet appreciated. This is evident through his achievements noted through the delivery systems including the NRL and ARL. I believe Bennett's understanding of sport delivery systems is solid as he has been confronted firsthand by athletes and coaches who have all experienced a luxury of practicing within a sports delivery system. This has shown Bennett some real characters within his coaching career, and he has shown leadership and commitment to all those affected by him, as his book Don't Die with the Music in You really reflects upon the phrase, "Don't take things in life for granted." It surprised me as I read. Initially, Bennett didn't fall back on sport delivery systems to get him to be the coach we know him as. However, as times have progressed, Bennett relies on institutes of sport, the media, and sponsors to provide him with athletes for his team. These agencies and sport delivery systems are proven to be effective, as you see on the television today some of the greatest rugby league being played in history. In conclusion, it is apparent Brisbane Broncos coach Wayne Bennett is without a doubt one of, if not the best, rugby league coach in Australia. His understanding, passion, commitment, dedication and motivation for the game and its success in individuals' lives are reflective throughout his self-written book Don't Die with the Music in You. The sport delivery systems, the Australian Rugby League and National Rugby League Commissions are essential for the game rugby league to continue in its success within Australia. Bennett's autobiography is a book full of anecdotes, inspiration, and homespun philosophies that reflect Wayne Bennett's love for his family, friends, and footballers, his great talent for teaching, and his enormous respect for rugby league and the men who play it. Wayne Bennett has maximised his coaching potential not only through sport delivery systems, but his resentment for the game. I finish with a quote from the great man himself. "Coaching has been great for me, but it's not like playing. Playing is the greatest feeling you get. Nothing ever takes the place of being part of that team, the trust and bond and confidence in one another."